around. I'm a hustle Let's Talk the show, and this ain't a podcast. I want to thank y'all for tuning in with me this Tuesday, like y'all do every Tuesday. I got a great show in store for you. I am going to wait until a few more people join in because we were kicked off live for some reason. Before we get into details about what tonight's episode is about. And y'all know, as usual, drop something in the comment section that you're grateful for. I'm going to be talking about what I'm grateful for too, so we're going to let a couple people join in. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, let's see. Okay. So y'all may see, I know y'all wondering, like, I'm not all dressed up today. My hair is like soft pressed and blow dried mostly. I'm in some sweats and some little socks and jogging pants, lounge pants. Because today's episode is not about being dressed up. I guess physically I am also speaking about, physically I'm showing you what tonight's conversation is kind of about. It's not about being dressed up. It's about being in some of your most rawest form and having a real unfiltered conversation about the things that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. Things that most people bottle up. They bottle up, or they unalive themselves because of those daily struggles, or they cope with other unhealthy methods through sex, drugs, social media. Some people seek medication to help them through it. Some people seek therapy, multiple ways. Everybody copes with things in different ways, but we definitely want to still find safe spaces like the show to have those kind of conversations, right? And that's what we're going to be doing tonight. So I am chilling. You should be chilling too. I got some water. Okay. And we're going to have a good conversation. I got to get into the very thing that everybody has to get into, what I'm grateful for. And so today I would say that I'm grateful for just having my son. He's brought an immense amount of joy into my life. Joy about things that I did not give a damn about. So yeah, I really am happy. He's happy. He's healthy. He's funny. He's smart. He's just a joy to have. He's such a joy. Even on the rough days, I'm always just like, you know what? It could be bad. It could be worse. So I think today I would say, well, I know today that I would say I'm grateful to just be a mom to my son, to have my son as my kid. Because, yeah, I always tell him I got the best kid. God didn't make no more great kids after he made him. Actually, he was the only great kid he made. So, yeah. All right, so let's get into it. Tonight's episode is about motherhood. Are you thriving or just surviving? And so a lot of the discourse on social media, especially TikTok, about surrounding motherhood is mothers being in survival mode. If you haven't, you should go watch the video on our page. The second to last video I posted was regarding surviving in motherhood. One mom said that she wanted to know if other moms felt like they failed their children because they didn't get to be the fun mom. They don't get to do the fun things in motherhood because they're too busy surviving. So fam, I have to ask you that question. Do you, as moms, do you feel like you failed your children because you don't get to do the fun things with them, or you don't get to be the fun mom? Tell me what you think. Sound off in the comments. And while you guys do that, we're going to go ahead. Before we can kind of discuss things, we want to make sure we are properly defining them so we can know what we're discussing. And you guys know the routine. When you join, make sure you drop something in the comment section that you're grateful for. Let me see here. I see someone said they're grateful for a new job. Shout out to you. I'm happy you have a new job, so shout out to you. Okay, so survival mode via Google is defined as a temporary state of chronic stress, exhaustion, and feeling constantly on the verge of breakdown, where a parent focuses only on the bare necessities to keep themselves and their family functioning. Now, that is what survival mode is defined as. And I think that every mom can agree that if you are a single mom, it's just you doing everything on a day to day, financially, you the end all be all, then you can absolutely say that on a day to day, you're just trying to get through the day. You're just trying to get the bare minimum. And when you're constantly in that mode, it makes it extremely difficult to step outside of that, because in survival mode, fun is a luxury. It is not a necessity. And it is so detrimental to not only the children, but to us as mothers when we're constantly stuck in that state, right? So let's break this down. I would say, when I was in survival mode, it was always about making sure the bare minimum was done. Granted, my son was smaller, so tickling him and little small things were fun, were, taken as fun for him. Now that he got bigger, it was like we have to actually do things. And so it just was like, I got to get out of this mode. You're constantly stuck in survival mode, and it has you feeling overwhelmed. It has you feeling tired. You're always sleepy. No matter how much rest you get, you're still tired. It doesn't matter even if your child is somewhere and they're safe, your mind is constantly stuck in a stress state. And when you're mentally somewhere like that, it starts to physically show up. That's why you're always exhausted. If you're mentally always somewhere, so you're mentally stressed, physically your body is stressed as well. And so it's a never ending loop of exhaustion. I would say when you find yourself in that type of situation, no matter how many days you decide, look, I'm just not going to do nothing today, it'll never be enough, because it's not just one or the other. It's not that your body just mentally needs rest, or it's not that your body just physically needs rest. It's because you need both. You need to mentally detach and you need to physically detach in order to break out of survival mode. I want to know, we see a lot of moms talk about, myself included, my siblings included, talk about just being in survival mode, trying to get through the day. I want to know, how did our grandmothers and mothers do it? How did they survive this? They didn't have this. They didn't have the verb. They didn't have the wording to say they're exhausted or that they're constantly in survival mode. They didn't have the platforms or the safe spaces. So how did they handle it? And the only answer that I can think of when it comes to that is, one, they didn't. And two, because they didn't, they ended up with so many health issues. I think a lot of our grandmothers and mothers end up with so many health issues because they're stuck in a constant state of exhaustion, of stress. And I believe, statistics will support that. I have read somewhere that Black women have the highest rate of immune diseases, immune diseases or something of that sort, because of the high stress that we carry and we suffer from. And a lot of it is directly tied to motherhood and relationships and, the pay differential at work and things like that. But I know motherhood has to probably be like the number one reason. And so as a mom, somebody said a little bit of both, thriving and surviving. Yeah, I think I found to piggyback off that comment, I think I found a little bit of both. I think I found a good balance of thriving and surviving. Sometimes I get caught up too much in one way or the other, just because I kind of live with the, like tomorrow's not promised. And so like live it up today a little bit. Sometimes I get stuck too much in that. And then sometimes I get stuck too much of in like, but I know that I'll be here tomorrow, and it's too much of the other. But yeah, I think I agree with you. I think I have a healthy balance now. When we talk about our grandparents, our grandmothers and our mothers dealing with all the weight of motherhood, I think we see a lot of them find find I think we see them I would say this. I think that a lot of our grandmothers and our mothers found safe spaces and community, which is what we lack current. Like I feel like millennial moms, I think that's what we lack. I think we still have some of those residual spaces, but we lack the village. You know, we still have a couple of little pieces of village and little remnants of villages, but we don't have the villages that our grandmothers and our mothers had, because that's what their safe spaces were. And I think I don't know how that didn't get carried over or why we don't get that, but we don't have it. And I think that's why we are finding it so much more difficult to handle the stress and weight of motherhood. You know, our mothers found that safe space to handle the weight of motherhood when their friends came over. That's why we had so many aunties and cousins that ain't really our auntie or our cousin, because that was their community. So they were so close with their friends and they had such great friendships and things like that, because that was their safe space. That's how they handled the weight of motherhood, because when we all together, we got 15 adults watching, 20 kids, it's just that much easier to, let your kids loose and feel safe. So I think that's where they found, that's the safe space right there. Their villages were the safe spaces. But the reason we had so many family reunions back then was because our grandmothers and our mothers were the organizers of those events, and that's where their safe space. Okay, give me just 1 second, you guys. I'll be right back. Okay, give me just 2 seconds, you guys. One moment here. Okay, 2 seconds, you guys. Right back. Whew. Okay. I am back, you guys. Thank you so much for being patient. Rushing, and my mic is literally inside out. Woo. Okay, so where was I? So sorry. Whew. Let me catch my breath for a second. Okay, so let's get back to it. Like I was saying before, I think so many of our grandparents, of our grandmothers and our mothers, found safe spaces in villages. That's why it was such a big thing. That's why we had, again, so many aunts and uncles and cousins that weren't blood related, but were related through love. That's why, because that's where their safe spaces were, to have those conversations, and to let their hair down and feel like their kids were in safe environments. The same thing with our grandmothers. That's why we had so many family reunions. It was a safe space to get together with everybody that you know and that you love, to let the kids run wild, to talk about the problems you're facing in motherhood. And to know that you're not alone going through it. For some reason, millennial moms, we don't have that. And I don't know where it got lost or how it got lost. But the reality is, at this point, it's lost. And so I think, much like the video that I put out, I think a great way for moms, new moms, first time moms, whatever, to get out of survival mode is to make time to thrive. 5 steps to get the everyday single mom, married mom, single married mom, married single moms, whatever. Any mom that's any mom that is currently in survival mode, here are 5 pieces of advice to get you out. And I mean out, completely out of survival mode. Number one. You need to prioritize yourself. And you might be like, I got 5 kids. How am I going to do that? I got to work every day. I'm barely making ends meet. How am I going to prioritize myself? Let me tell you how you're going to prioritize yourself. I don't give a damn if it's $5. You going to buy yourself something. Okay? I don't give a damn if it's 1 sit-up that you do a day. You're going to prioritize your health. You're going to prioritize the way you show up. You ain't got, I know, if money is tight, and money is tight as hell around here these days, okay? You don't have $100 to buy yourself a brand new pair of shoes. Kids is going back to school, okay? And Halloween is around the corner, and so it's Thanksgiving, and goddamn it, Christmas is knocking on the door. I know you don't have the funds to go to a spa, go to a gym, but this is where you have to use what you got to get what you need. Amen? Amen. Prioritize yourself. If it's at home, hitting a couple sit-ups to get your body right. If it's not getting a pop every time you got to get lunch and getting water instead. If it's buying you a $10, $15, $25 shirt because you need a new shirt. It is prioritizing yourself in small ways that make the biggest impact. You don't have $500 from this check to reorganize your closet. But you know what you probably could do? Buy some new bras, some new panties, buy a cute little lounge set from Amazon. Okay? Spend $45, $50, $65 and get you a new pair of shoes. Right? Set $200 aside, get your hair braided so you can prioritize yourself. When you look good, you feel good. And for us moms, it starts as that, because I feel like, to me, as moms, that's the first thing we let go is how we look. We just gonna wear some lounge clothes, some leggings, some sweatpants. I heard gonna be in a ponytail or something basic. But when you look good, you feel good. And when you prioritize making sure you get up, even if your hair ain't flat out done, maybe you brush into a nice ponytail, okay? Flat iron your own hair. Do you a little $34, $35, $40 quick weave on yourself? Prioritizing ourselves is the number one way you are going to get out of survival mode. That's the first thing. That is the very first thing. The number 2 thing, the second piece of advice for getting everyday moms that are in survival mode into thriving mode. Number 2, make time for fun. Number 2, make time for fun. You don't have no time. You don't have enough time to do the things you need to do, much less have fun. We don't got time. There's not enough time in the day. So what do you need to do? You need to make time. Make time. That's the number 1 thing. Make time right now. Make time. How do you make time? I ain't got enough time. I got to get off work, cook, clean the house, put the kids in the bed. I feel you. I do the same thing. I feel you. I do the same thing. The absolute same thing. Okay? And oftentimes we feel like we're rushing. But you know, when you're constantly rushing, that pressure is not just that you that feels the pressure. The kids feel the pressure. All that anxiousness. Oh, let me hurry. Get here. Stop it. Because while you're in survival mode, you're also conditioning your children at that very moment to constantly be in survival mode. So stop. Make fun. Make time for fun. Dinner time, I'm going to tell y'all again. If you need to make dinner time fun, order pizza. Order some hot and ready's from Little Caesars. Order 2 if you got to send your kids to school with the lunch. Order 2 pieces for dinner time. This is how you're going to make fun. Number 2, make some fun. This is how you're going to do it. For dinner time, you're going to order 2 pieces. You're going to order a pizza for y'all to share and eat for dinner and watch y'all favorite movie in front of the TV for dinner time, right? No more plopping the kids at the table to eat dinner while you do whatever. We're going to sit together. We're going to watch our favorite movie. We're going to talk junk and have fun, right? Builds bonding, builds connection. Guess what? Oh, on Thursdays we do pizza. So every Thursday y'all might do a little pizza night. We're gonna sit together, chop it up, and watch our favorite movie and go to bed. That's fun. And then you got another pizza to make sure your kids got lunch at school tomorrow. Everybody wins. For about $10, you'd have had a nice little fun movie night with your kids. You done bonded with them, had time. Everybody have time to decompress. And then guess what? You still also knocked out lunch for tomorrow. You ain't even got to make nothing. Put some fruit, smack a bottle of juice in there, and some chips, and badao. They got lunch. And if you might do it right, they might have dinner for the next day, depending on how many kids you got. Amen? Amen. That's number 2. Number 3. The number 3 piece of advice to get everyday moms out of survival mode and into thriving is to breathe. This is key for somebody like me, somebody who has social anxiety, somebody who literally has a problem breathing through things on a day-to-day basis. This is for all the moms. Breathe. Breathe. And I do mean breathe, okay? Breathe. Take a deep breath. Like one where you slowly do about 5 times and just help reset your nervous system. A deep breath is going to bring your blood pressure down. Okay, we're going to bring it back to a centered place. Okay, it's going to help ease your mind. It's going to calm you down. It's going to give you a peace of mind so that you can more efficiently make decisions and not be in such a heightened emotional state when you're making these decisions, right? If you're just doing things based on like, oh, I gotta do this, you're doing it based on right now, you might not even be thinking long term because you don't even have the energy to do so. But if you're being constantly mindful of taking a deep breath to relax and then make decisions and then move forward, you won't find yourself so tensed up all the time. Deep breathing and meditating, I ain't saying you gotta woosah every day, but I'm telling you it could be very beneficial if you did. Remember to deep breathe. You're gonna be fine. It's gonna work out. Deep breathing. I think that was 4. I think one was to, number 1 was to prioritize yourself. Number 2 was make time for fun. Number 3 was deep breathe. I think that's it. That's 3. Okay. Number 4. This is a big one, and I feel like it's a really big one in the Black community because we don't really think that we should do these things with our kids. And my number 4 piece of advice to get all moms out of survival mode today and into thriving mode is to talk to your kids about what's going on. Talk to them about what you're feeling. Okay? And I know that doesn't seem like the norm to do that. Like, you don't want to tell your kids what you have going on. 1, you don't want them talking too much because kids gonna talk. 2, you don't think that they can handle it. They don't know what to do with that. And number 3, you also don't want to be emotionally or trauma dumping on your kids, which I think all 3 of those are perfect, are valid reasons. But my number 4 reason for saying, explain to your kids what you're feeling and what you're going through is because even no matter how good you hide it, you can be the best mom in the world. No matter how much you try to hide how you're feeling or what you're going through, your kids are going through it as well. And when you explain to them what you're feeling, what you're thinking, it also gives them the verbiage to explain how they're feeling and what they're thinking. Because a lot of times kids grow up in these households where their moms are constantly stressed out. And then they grow up to internalize, like, my mom was tired of me. I was a burden. She never wanted this. Whole time you just really tired as hell trying to make ends meet to give them everything they need. But because you weren't able to tell them, like, mommy's just really stressed out. It's just a lot going on. I just need you to work with me. They grew up thinking that they were a burden to you, when in reality, they're your whole world. They're your whole world. Whole time they think they're a burden in your world. And so I think that to alleviate a lot of that stress and maybe some of that tension amongst the kids and you and your spouse too, communicate how you're feeling with your kids. Mommy's just stressed out today, okay? I'm just overstimulated. It's a lot going on. I just need you to brush your teeth right now so everything can be easy for everybody. Okay. You know what? Mama's about to start yelling because I'm losing my cool. Can you just go sit down? Can you just go do what I asked you to do? Just go do your homework. You know what I'm saying? And so it makes kids more aware of their behavior. It allows them to process what they're thinking, what you're thinking. It helps them to be able to pick up on cues. Like, it's not just to tell your kids what's going on in your mind, but this helps them build emotional maturity. It helps them pick up on social cues. This works wonders for everybody, okay? So this is why I really think number 4 is communicate with your kids what you're feeling and what you're thinking as a mom in survival mode. It does wonders. I'm not saying emotionally trauma dump on your kids. That's not what the hell you should be doing. You should not be telling your kids, I'm $500 behind. That's why we can't do XYZ. That's not what I'm telling you to do. But telling your kids, you know what, mommy had a really rough day today. I'm just overwhelmed. I don't have the room to be yelling at you 5-6 times. I need you to just go brush your teeth, go put your clothes on, and get in the bed. I'm going to come in there, tuck you in a minute. That right there is I told you how I'm feeling, what I need you to do, and what I'm going to do after you do that. You feel me? Like, you can't go wrong with that. I think it really does wonders for your kids. Like, my son does that now. I have no problem telling my son, listen, I'm about to lose my cool. I need you to go do what I asked you to do and go park it somewhere. And you know my son, okay, I ain't trying to, I'm okay. Okay, ma, I can do it. And guess what? Now when my son's overwhelmed or when I'm giving him instructions, ma, I'm having a really rough time right now. I just need a moment. That's my son. Anybody that knows me or knows my son knows that's my son. And you know why? Because I built that level of emotional maturity in him since he was a baby. So it works both ways. Your kid, you have an open line of communication with your child, and so they don't only be able to receive what you're saying, you can receive what they're saying as well. So you in the loop, so you know what's going on with your kid. It's a win-win. What other pieces of advice? I'm going on. I don't want to go on and on. But what piece of advice do you guys have for mothers that are in survival mode so that they can transition into thriving mode? And while you guys drop those comments in the comment section, I do want to remind all of our viewers to go ahead, click the link in my bio, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are currently at 86 subscribers, and we want to reach 100 before the end of 2025, but I cannot do it without you. So if you love me like I love you and you support me like I support you, click the link in my bio and subscribe to our YouTube channel right now. Okay? So I think that brings us to like number 4 and 5 pieces of advice to take every mom in survival mode into thriving mode. So number 5. This is my number 5. And this is my number 5 because this has always been an instrumental part in my life, no matter what stage I was in my life. Number 5 is you gonna have to find some type of spiritual guidance. This is what I want to say. Some type of spiritual guidance. I don't know if you believe in Allah, in Jehovah, Lord, Jesus Christ, God, whoever, but whoever you believe in or whoever you want to believe in, you have to find a spiritual guidance or spiritual guide. You got to find a spiritual guide. I think it's so important, especially with the way the world is set up, that you understand you are not the end all be all. Like, you cannot convince me that you are the one making all the rules. You are the one doing the impossible. You just can't convince me that. So I think it's super important for every mother to find a spiritual guide, a spiritual grounding, to know that there is somebody above you that also cares for you, that loves you, that wants the best for you, and that helps guide you along this way. It gives you, some people, it just gives you a grounding and something to fall back on, especially when your spouse ain't hearing you, your kids ain't listening, your friends got their own life. You might not even be in therapy. But I think that a spiritual grounding is a great mutual place for you to talk and to be heard and to receive some type of certainty that all things work together for the good, right? And I think that is absolutely imperative. You need to be able to pray to your God and cry to your God about the things that only you and him know about, or you and her know about. So absolutely find a spiritual guide, get in church, online church, journal. I definitely want to say find something that you believe in, a higher power. But if it's not even that, find a way to truly get your thoughts out and pray and journal. So if it's not a spiritual guide, find a healthy coping mechanism with what's going on in your life. You cannot always, what's the line say? You can't outspend it. You can't outdrink it. You can't outsex it. You can't outsleep it. You can't outeat it. Some things in this life, in motherhood, you gonna have to take to God, or you gonna have to put it in a journal. But one way or the other, you gonna have to find a healthy way to cope with it. Because the line said it best, you can't outsex it, you can't outeat it, sleep it, drink it, spend it. You gotta find a healthy way to cope with what's going on. Or baby, you gonna succumb to gonna succumb to your environment. If stress is all you know and you're not finding a healthy way to handle your stress, you're gonna be stressed the fuck out until you die. And that's the real tea. Or until you sick enough that you can't do nothing else about it. Now you might die then. You still might die. So those are my 5 pieces of advice to take every mom from survival mode to dive mode. Number 1, prioritize yourself. Find some way to buy you a $10 shirt, $60 shoes, do your hair. Number 2, make time for fun. Absolutely. Instead of a regular dinner, pizza. Instead of coming straight home, getting a homework, take the kids for a bike ride. And not even a bike ride. You want to blow the gas and you don't feel like taking them outside? Put the kids in the car, turn on some music, go for a little drive. Okay? Make the errands fun. Number 3, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Because that is the way to reset your nervous system. That's a way to clear your mind and your body so that you can make decisions more efficiently. Because that's all we doing all day is making decisions. Number 4, talk to your kids about what's going on. That creates a 2-way street between you and your children. I'm not saying trauma dump. There's a difference. Learn it, because I'm not going to tell you about it here no more. Talk to your kids. You can communicate your emotions. You teach your kids how to better communicate their emotions. And then you keep an open line of communication amongst each other, along with your spouses. Same thing. Communicate how you're feeling. Number 5, find some type of spiritual guide or healthy coping mechanism. I believe everybody should be praying. I ain't tripping about who you pray to, because you do your own thing. But you need to find a healthy way to cope with the stress in your day-to-day life, or stress is going to do it for you. And you eventually will die from it. That's just the tea. But that's really all I got for today. I really have enjoyed you guys. I hope that when we have these conversations, that we still find time to have them with people that matter. Have them with your everyday people, not just have them with me here. But yeah, another thing, just a quick reminder, make sure you guys click the link in my bio and subscribe to my YouTube channel. We are at 86 subscribers and we want to reach 100 before the end of 2025. But family, I cannot do it without y'all. So if you love me like I love you and you rock with me like I rock with you, click that link in my bio, subscribe, like, comment, share. I would appreciate it. And as usual, I'm going out the same way I came in, with something that I'm grateful for. I would like to say today that I'm grateful for just the continued commitment to showing up. It can be so hard, but you know what? I'd rather show up, give my best effort, and know that I did it. Not half-ass way, not somewhat, like I did it. I'm not dressed up today because I wanted to, show that this is comfortable and relaxed environment. But I still did a little makeup, still straightened my hair, still mic'd up, lights still on. Okay. Same effort. Like, I'm proud of myself. Maybe I don't get all the viewers. Maybe I don't get all the shares, but I know I showed up. I'm presenting the way I want to be perceived. I'm having conversations that I want to have. And that's what matters to me. So I'm grateful for my continued commitment to showing up, because discipline looks hella boring until one day you wake up and you somewhere that you always imagine you'll be. So that's what I'm grateful for. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys tonight. I think that's it. My name is Sherelle, y'all. I'm the host of Let's Talk the Show, and this ain't a podcast. I will see you guys next Tuesday at 7:30 with a brand new guest. So be on the lookout for promo. Peace.